Hey, what is up, guys? This is Bo, or CarlHunga712, and today I'm bringing you a Black Ops 4 weapons guide. We're going to talk about the Maddox assault rifle today, which is unlocked at level 49. I think the Maddox, obviously it's not a real weapon, but I would say it was probably based off the FAD or the F2000 from some of the older CODs we've played. Kind of a faster firing assault rifle, not really specializing in long-range combat, but more of your mid-range assault rifle that can kind of do it all. You can shoot long range. You're going to probably get beat by your ICR users, but you can still compete with them, and you can also compete with your Spitfire and SOG users at close range. In my personal opinion, before we even get into any of the stats, I think the Maddox is probably the best weapon in the game, just based off of its versatility. That's the big key for the Maddox. For anybody who uses the Maddox, when you guys unlock it in pubs, or if you guys use it in competitive, it is basically the one gun that kind of does it all. You know, every game seems to have that one gun that's just so incredibly versatile. It kind of does everything. The Maddox is definitely that weapon in this game. You're going to be able to compete with your long-range assault rifle users, and you're going to be able to compete with your close-range, close-quarter combat submachine gun users in this game. But anyways, let's get to the main stats on the gun. Basically, the Maddox deals 32 damage at close range, and it falls off to 27 damage at longer ranges. Basically, you just have 2 damage profiles for this gun. Basically, that puts the gun at a 5 to 6 shot. Basically, it's 5 to 6 shots to kill with this weapon. That may sound kind of low, or kind of a slower or lower time to kill. But with the health output being at 150 in Black Ops 4, this is actually one of the higher damage guns in the game. And also, the next most important stat for this gun is the rate of fire. The rate of fire is going to be in this right around 720 RPMs, so this is going to be one of the faster firing assault rifles. This actually might be the fastest firing assault rifle. I don't have all my stats in front of me to the other weapons because, like I said, I wanted to start off with this gun, one of the most popular guns in the game, but it's definitely a fast firing assault rifle, which is going to, again, allow you to compete with submachine guns up close. And of course, it's not too the rate of fire is not too fast that the recoil is going to be uncontrollable, and you're still going to be able to compete against ICR users at long range. Basically, getting next into the recoil of this weapon, the recoil is pretty much straight vertical. It's going to move a little bit, but not much. So, like I said, with the recoil being mainly vertical on this gun, again, it's going to allow you to compete with ICR users at long range. Now, that's one of the things with this gun that makes it so useful, again, is that it's a versatile weapon. Versatility is the key. So if you want that gun that basically deals everything, or that basically doesn't specialize at anything but is just good at everything type of weapon, the Maddox is definitely that weapon for you. From other Call of Duties, I would probably put this along the lines of the K-Bar from Infinite Warfare. When Infinite Warfare first came out, the K-Bar was my go-to gun. I love the K-Bar. It was my favorite gun in that game until they nerfed it, which they probably needed to nerf. It was too good at what it did. But it was a fast-firing assault rifle that you could compete with NV4 users at range. You can compete with submachine gun ERAD users at close range. And that's basically what, again, the Maddox can do in this game. You can compete with your weapons, your assault rifles at long range, compete with your subs at close range. Like I said, it's just the perfect gun for, you know, if you want a gun that kind of does everything for you. You know, you don't want to be stuck long range with the ICR. You don't want to be stuck close range with a SOG or a Spitfire. You just want that gun that does everything for you. This is the weapon for you. We'll get to some attachments here. I think the best attachments on the Maddox would, first off, I think you definitely would be, it would be beneficial for you to run a sight on this gun. I'm basically performing a sacrilege here to all my COD competitive Reddit users. I'm using a reflex sight on the Maddox. Most people just, hey, we got to use the ELO sight, which the ELO sight's a great sight. Don't get me wrong. It's probably a little cleaner than the reflex sight just because you don't have the bar on the top. But I'm an old school Call of Duty player. I'm used to the reflex sight. So I just use the reflex sight. So definitely I recommend the reflex or the ELO. The iron sights on this gun are pretty clean for the most part. I know some competitive players will sometimes just use the gun without an ELO sight or a reflex sight just because the iron sights are pretty clean. You definitely can do that, but I like having the added accuracy and clarity on target, so that's what I prefer with that. I definitely recommend using Quick Draw 1 and 2 on this gun. Of course, Quick Draw 1 is just like in the older CODs, your gun's going to aim in quicker, but Quick Draw 2 even adds to that further. You're going to aim in even quicker. So for you guys that like to run around the map and play aggressively, I definitely recommend Quick Draw 1 and 2. If you're more of a setback type of player, you probably only need Quick Draw 1 on this gun. Also stock. I definitely recommend stock because that allows you to aim in and kind of strafe back and forth, which again is going to help you win more gunfights, and it's also going to help you be more accurate at your longer range engagements. Another key to the gun, you want to be accurate, you want to be able to compete with all weapons. The stock allows you to compete with subs up close, and it also allows you to aim in and kind of strafe around corners. If you know there are going to be people on head glitches at a distance, stock's definitely a great attachment. For pubs, if you want, if you hip fire a lot, you can definitely use the laser sight. The laser sight works great with this weapon just because it's a fast-firing weapon. I definitely don't recommend it, though. Like I said, I'm going to recommend more competitive classes that are really useful in pubs, but you can also use them in competitive if you guys are playing competitively or if you guys are getting ready for league play on here. Like I said, those are the attachments I recommend. Basically, for your perks, if you're playing pubs, I recommend Scavenger. I definitely recommend Dexterity or Gung Ho. Obviously, Gung Ho's banned in competitive, so if you're a competitive player, you can't use it. I love Gung Ho because it allows you to aim in even faster. You have Quick Draw 1, Quick Draw 2. You can recover from your sprint faster. That's my go-to class is Scavenger, Gung Ho, Dead Silence, because Dead Silence, you want to be quiet when you're flanking around people, and then you also have basically your perk that allows people to see where you're at on the radar, and Dead Silence counters that, so that's what I definitely use. Again, if you're in the competitive setting, I'd probably recommend Tac Mask or maybe Flak Jacket with Dexterity. Those would probably be my recommendations if you're running a competitive loadout. And you could possibly also eliminate one of those perks in pubs if you don't want to use them, and you could put on also a concussion grenade of some sort, just because since the Maddox is a more aggressive weapon, sometimes your stun grenades or your concussions definitely come in handy. But let me know in the comment section what you guys like to run on the Maddox. Like I said, this is my favorite setup, and I think the best overall weapon in the game. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you next video. Bow out.